I have no doubt he'll be kicking off on the side of the pitch, with those two. I mean, Chris Davis is quite calm, to be fair, but Steve Evans, he loves a pop, don't he? He absolutely is mad for it. I think he wakes up in the morning just looking for a fight, that guy. He absolutely loves it.
Yeah, I mean, football needs characters.
They do.
And he's one of them ones you love to hate.
He's a bit like Nathan Jones, isn't he? Everyone likes to give him a hard time.
Yeah, he'll get a load of stick during the game, which he'll love. He'll love that. He'll love the stick from the Blues fans. He'll get stick all through the game. But at the end of the game, I think he'll be, miserable as ever.
So welcome back to BCFC Royal Blue, and this week is game week 7 for the League One campaign. And if you've been tuning into this channel for any significant time, or if you're a regular subscriber, you'll know me and Dad do these videos once a week. It's a little bit of fun, a little bit lighthearted, and we just do our predictions of what we think the outcomes are going to be on any week. And we've been keeping a rolling tally, and we don't discuss our fixtures and results before the recording, so again, we like to keep it sort of fresh in the room. So I'm going to hand it straight over to Dad, as we always do. And Dad, do you want to give us a little bit of a recap from game week 6?
Yeah, as always, the results catch us out, don't they? And some real standout results from game week 6. I think we can look at Huddersfield's 4-0 win away at Bolton. That was really hard to predict. Wigan matched that with a 4-0 win at Bristol Rovers. Crawley drew with Stockport.
Stevenage beating Barnsley.
So there were some real unexpected outcomes from that. And actually, the result of this match week, at the time of recording as well, there's still one match left, which is our own Birmingham City versus Wrexham. So this is with one, but we've both predicted the same score, so the scores aren't going to change. So last week you got 7. You predicted Mansfield score correctly, as I see, you get 3 points for that. I predicted the Charlton score correctly, but that happened. Unfortunately, you win 7-5 going into this game week now. So that brings us on to this game week.
Game week 7, yeah.
So game week 7. So should we go through those fixtures?
Yeah, let's do it. And as always, Dad, I'll bounce the first one to you. So it's Exeter at home to Stevenage. What are your thoughts on that game?
Exeter have gone off the boil a little bit. I think they've lost 3 of the last 4, but they are a decent home team. Stevenage had that great result at home to Barnsley. Again, on home advantage here, I've gone for Exeter 2, Stevenage 0.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, Dad. I think Exeter are going to be quite strong at home, and Stevenage are going to be going into this with that momentum from that fantastic 3-0 win against Barnsley. So for that reason, I've gone for a 1-1 draw.
Are you going for a draw?
I've gone for a draw, yeah.
Right, let me type that into our spreadsheet. Next fixture, Matt, is Lincoln City at home to Wigan.
Well, as you referenced as part of the intro, Dad, Wigan had a great result last weekend, 4-0 win, and Lincoln are doing great as well. So again, a little bit of a pattern arising here. I've gone for a 2-2 draw.
You've gone for 2-2.
Yeah.
I'm sort of impressed with. I was very impressed with Wigan when they came to St.Andrews, and we did edge it at the end. We got a winner in injury time to beat them 2-1, but they did look really good. And it wasn't really a big surprise that they did well. I didn't expect them to do that well at Bristol Rovers last week, but they did. They came away with the 3 points. And Lincoln as well, their form is improving, considering I think they lost at the start of the season and they've started to improve their form. I think it's going to be difficult to separate these teams. So I've gone for a draw as well. I've gone for 1-1.
1-1. Nice. Yeah. Okay, brilliant. That brings on to our next game, and that's Bolton at home to Reading. What are your thoughts on that game?
Bolton are having a torrid time at the moment. They've lost 4 in a row and got hammered at home to Huddersfield, so their confidence is going to be really low. Reading had a surprise, in my opinion, home defeat. I can't remember who they lost to, actually. I'm going back to game week 6. They lost at home to Leyton Orient last week, which surprised me, but I don't know if you saw the goal. It was a goalkeeper mistake, but nevertheless, Leyton Orient are better from what I've seen, because we've seen them when they played us. They're better than bottom of the league.
They're due a bit of luck as well.
Yeah, so they got the 3 points there against Reading, who, again, another team that I was impressed with when they came to St Andrews. I'm going to go with form in terms of Bolton's form at the moment, and I think that would have demoralised them. They will have to get back to winning ways, but I'm still going to go for Bolton 1, Reading 2.
An away win?
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah. And I've backed Bolton to win pretty much every week, and for the last 4 weeks, it's been miserable watching those results come in. So I'm going to keep backing Bolton to come in on a win until I finally get a happy day. No, but in all seriousness, same as you, Dad, Reading, I was impressed with them when they came to St.Andrews, and I think they're actually going to be decent this year, I really do. However, Bolton have to turn it around at some time. And they are a good team. Bolton, no doubt about it, are a good team. And they're at home. I'm going to tip them to turn the scales this week. I've gone for a 2-1 home win.
Okay, 2-1. So Bolton 2, Reading 1. Then we have next Burton Albion versus Barnsley.
Yeah, so Barnsley are going to want to have a quick get back on it from that 3-0 loss at Stevenage the weekend. For me, Burton are going to be one of those teams who are down there and they're going to be struggling a bit. Still the home team, but I have gone for a pretty comfortable 3-1 away win, 3-1 Barnsley on this one.
Okay, so Burton 1,
Barnsley
Barnsley 3.
Yeah.
I think Barnsley, from what you've seen, is very early stage of the season. They look like they're going to be a very hot and cold team. You know, you're going to get 1 week they're going to be great, and the next week they're going to. I mean, that result against Stevenage really surprised me. I didn't expect that. You know, it's such a margin as well. In this game as well, Burton though, you know, they've not lost many games. I think they've drawn the last 4.
Yeah.
So they don't lose many games, and you know, on the fact that they're at home as well, I've gone for a 1-1 draw. I've gone for another draw for Burton.
Yeah, keeping that momentum of the draws going.
I think that's a fair prediction based upon the fact that Burton don't lose many games, and Barnsley, on the back of their last result, will want to come in. I think Barnsley are good enough to beat Burton, but I think at this point of the season, I think it's going to be a draw. So I've gone 1-1.
Okay, interesting. So that brings on to our next game, Dad, and that's Charlton at home to Blackpool. Can I, before you jump in, are you going to go 1-0 Charlton?
I was just about to say I always go 1-0, but they did it again, didn't they?
They did, yeah. That got you 3 points last week.
It got me 3 points, but I'm not going to predict 1-0 this week. They're playing Blackpool now. Blackpool beat Exeter 2-1 in Steve Bruce's first match as their manager, so they've got a little bit of forward momentum. There's always a bit of a bounce with a new manager. In fact, in the league, you know, they've drawn 2 and won 1 of the last 3. So they're definitely a team. They were better than where when they were near the bottom. They was always going to be above that. But Charlton, you know, they've started well. They're well up high in the league. But I've gone for another draw here. I've gone for Charlton 2, Blackpool 2.
2-2. That'd be a good game.
Yeah.
I've also gone for a draw.
Yeah.
But because of the way Charlton play, they're very compact, and Nathan Jones does have them set up very well. They're probably one of the better teams I've seen this season in this division. But something about Blackpool and Steve Bruce, and you know, he knows how to manage those teams who are going through a little bit of turmoil, don't he? Yeah. So I've gone for the draw, but I've gone for slightly low. I've gone for 1-1.
1-1. I've typed that in. When you said a draw, I anticipated you'd go for 1-1. Okay. So next in the fixture list, Mass, we have Huddersfield Town versus Northampton Town.
So Huddersfield have done really well this season, as expected. You know, me and you tipped them to do very well this season. They've only lost 1 game this season. That was to Rotherham, and they got a man sent off. So, you know, Huddersfield are going to be strong this season. Northampton, by the way, I quite rate them. I mean, they are going to be in the bottom half, I think, but they've been better in certain games than I've expected them to be. Actually, Northampton's a fair play. They've played some decent football at times. However, Huddersfield being the stronger team in the division, I'm going to go home advantage as well. I'm going to go Huddersfield 2, Northampton 0.
2-0. Okay.
Win.
Yeah, it's difficult for this fixture not to predict a home win because Huddersfield have started really well. They are a strong team. They're going to be well up there in the automatic promotion battle, I think. Northampton, last 4 games, they've won 1, drawn 2, and lost 1.
Not bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
But you know, they are playing away at Huddersfield. I've gone for I can't see past a home win. I've gone 3-1. Huddersfield 3, Northampton 1.
Yeah. I think a majority of people would be looking at that thinking a Huddersfield home win, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Good team, Huddersfield. So that brings us on to our next game. That's Mansfield at home to Shrewsbury. What are your thoughts on that?
Shrewsbury away. You know, I think if they're going to have any chance of battling to stay up, they're going to win most of their points at home. Again, I can't see anything but a home win here. So I've gone Mansfield 2, Shrewsbury 0.
I'll keep this brief because you've explained it all, Dad, and I think the misery is going to continue for Shrewsbury. I've gone home win, but I've gone 1-0 Mansfield. I don't think there'll be many goals in this.
1-0, okay.
1-0, yeah.
Peterborough versus Bristol Rovers is next.
So Peterborough going into this game off the back of a great point against Lincoln, and Bristol Rovers are going into this off the back of a miserable 4-0 battering at Wigan. So again, I can't see much further than a home win on this one. I've gone for a close game, to be fair, but I think Peterborough are going to have too much firepower. I've gone for 2-1 home win.
2-1, yeah. I think that 4-0 home defeat for Bristol Rovers was a real shock against Wigan. That's going to sort of really zap their confidence. But of course, the 2 ways this game will go. They'll either go and come back because they've got a point to prove, or you know, the confidence will be so low that they'll end up losing again. Peterborough, you know, they've not started off as well as we thought they would. They've got a couple of wins in there, but I think they've lost and drawn their last 2, or lost and drawn. I've gone for a stalemate here. There's just something tells me. I mean, I never thought I'd ever predict Peterborough as a 0-0, but I am going to go in this game.
Wow.
Peterborough 0, Bristol Rovers 0. That's my prediction.
I've nothing to base on because I haven't done that much extensive research on Peterborough, but I bet no goals in their games for them would be quite rare. Quite a rare occurrence.
I think so. And obviously it is a prediction, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there's just something about this. I think Bristol Rovers are going to really want to try and keep a clean sheet. I mean, they ship 4 at home.
Yeah.
So it'd probably be like 7-7 or something like that. But I am predicting 0-0.
Okay, so that brings on to our Birmingham City, Dad. We're away at Rotherham. We've got our tickets through the door. I'm excited to go. But what are your thoughts for Rotherham at home against Birmingham City?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to go. Well, apparently, according to their manager, we're the Real Madrid of League One.
Real Birmingham.
Real Birmingham. Oh my God.
Has a ring to it. I quite like it.
Yeah. I think that. I think we'll be too strong for Rotherham. I don't think they had the start to the season that they'd want. They did well beating Huddersfield, so we know that they're dangerous because, I mean, Huddersfield are a good side, so we have to be wary. Again, as I've said in all the predictions for Birmingham City so far, I still can't see us keeping a clean sheet.
Same.
So I've gone for Rotherham 1, Birmingham 3.
Okay, so I've gone very close, but I could see us conceding one more. But I think off the back of Rotherham being at home, maybe I've gone for Rotherham 2, Birmingham 3. And if that's the case, Dad, I'm sure we're going to be sitting in the stand with a bit of a heart attack, especially if it's a back and forth game. But even bigger question than that, who's going to win the fight between Steve Evans and Chris Davies?
Well, I don't care who wins it as long as we win it on the pitch. That doesn't matter.
I have no doubt he'll be kicking off on the side of the pitch, with those two. I mean, Chris Davies is quite calm, to be fair, but Steve Evans, he loves a pop, don't he? He absolutely is mad for it. I think he wakes up in the morning just looking for a fight, that guy. He absolutely loves it.
Yeah, I mean, football needs characters.
They do.
And he's one of them ones you love to hate.
He's a bit like Nathan Jones, isn't he? Everyone likes to give him a hard time.
Yeah, he'll get a load of stick during the game, which he'll love. He'll love that. He'll love the stick from the Blues fans. He'll get stick all through the game. But at the end of the game, I think he'll be, miserable as ever. So I've gone for a 3-1. You've gone for a 3-2.
Yeah.
Next match, we've got Stockport County against Leyton Orient.
So this weekend really caught me by surprise. So at the time of recording, game week 6 caught me by surprise because Stockport, I thought they would win at Crawley. And, fair play to Crawley. They're half plucking some results out considering everyone writ them off at the start of the season. And Leyton Orient, Dad, we've said they're far better than where they are in the league.
Yeah.
I've seen them in a couple of games and they've been unlucky, a few errors. It looks like that luck turned for them at the weekend, gone with that goalkeeping error. So I'm glad Leyton Orient actually managed to get off to the races. Hopefully they can continue that momentum. But with Stockport being at home, I still think they're going to be a little bit too strong for Leyton Orient in terms of for the win. I have gone for a draw and I've gone 2-2.
2-2.
2-2 draw, yeah.
Yeah, Stockport have been impressive since they came up. I mean, the draw against Crawley, it didn't really surprise me that much. I mean, obviously, Stockport are a lot higher now in the league than Crawley were. But only on the basis they came up together from League Two. And even though there's been changes in both teams, they would have known each other. So, yeah, you would have expected Stockport to win. But Crawley drawing wasn't a massive issue, I don't think. Or surprise, sorry. Leyton Orient, we saw them when we played them at their ground and we narrowly beat them, as we have narrowly beat every team that we've played so far, only narrowly. But it was only a matter of time before they got the result. I think there was a little bit of luck with their win at Reading. It was a goalkeeping error. But I've gone for a high-scoring game here. I've gone for Stockport 3, Leyton Orient 2.
Nice.
Because I think Stockport at home are going to be very, very strong this season.
So if it gets to 2-2, this is going to be on a knife's edge because I could get the 3 points and you're crying out for one more goal, aren't you, for your 3? So.
That's the nature of predictions, unfortunately. yeah.
So that brings on to Wrexham at home, Dad, versus Crawley.
Yeah, just to make it clear, at the time of recording, tomorrow night we're playing Wrexham, so we're the final Birmingham City. We're the final game, so this has not happened yet. So I'm going to base this result. We can't base it on the Birmingham performance because we don't know what that is yet. But I see a Wrexham team that are flying in the league, full of confidence, very, very strong at home. Don't concede goals at home, playing a Crawley team again who came up with them. I think this is going to be a straightforward 4-0.
4-0?
4-0.
Wow.
Wrexham 4, Crawley 0.
Okay, so I've also gone for a home win. It's the same as you, Dad. It's hard to predict this one because I always use a bit of common sense. I always use a bit of form. I always use a bit of the previous week's results.
Yeah.
And because we haven't had the Wrexham-Birmingham outcome, it's hard to predict a little bit the Wrexham and the Blues game, for example, on this particular week. But I agree. And poor Crawley, I mean, fair play to them. They keep proving me wrong. I think I've predicted them to lose pretty much most weeks, and they keep, plucking out a few wins. So fair play to Crawley. You are giving a good old crack this year. Fair play. But again, sorry, it has to continue because Wrexham at home. I've gone Wrexham 2, Crawley 0. I think Crawley might give a better account, slight
Yeah.
better account for themselves than
Yeah,
Forward.
Crawley. I don't mean to be disrespectful to Crawley
No,
when
of
I
course
say
not.
4-0 as well. I just think that Wrexham are so strong at home and they score lots of goals.
They're very compact, aren't they?
Yeah, so so that's what I've gone for. So I've gone for 4-0. You've gone for 2-0.
Yep.
Okay.
Final game then, Dad.
So the final game then of game week 7 is Wycombe Wanderers against Cambridge United.
Yeah, so Wycombe have started to get a little bit of momentum. Is it 2 wins back to back for Wycombe, or a win and a draw?
No, they've it's a win-draw loss. So that's 3 games. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is good for 'em.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. And I've always said Wycombe are going to be a top half team. I think when all said and done at the end of the season, I think they will be in the top half. Don't think they'll quite push for the playoffs, but they'll be sort of 10th, 11th maybe.
Yeah.
And Cambridge, I think, are going to have a real struggle this season. I've gone for a home win, and I've gone for 2-0.
2-0.
2-0 to Wycombe.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Wycombe, we saw Wycombe when we beat them at their place, and I think that they were always fancied to do reasonably well this season. It's a strong League One this season. They've always, last couple of seasons they've been pretty strong, but I think they're now starting to show a bit of form. At the time they played us, it was just before the transfer window was closing. They brought in a few players, which seems to have made a difference. So I think they're going to be okay. Cambridge are disappointing. They're I think are they rock bottom now, Cambridge?
Although it was good to see Langello get on the score sheet at the weekend.
Yeah, I saw that as well. Yeah, Manny. For those of you who are not Birmingham City supporters watching this podcast, Manny Langello is a player on loan at Cambridge from Birmingham City, and he scored, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, well done, Manny. But it still wasn't enough, and they lost again. They've lost 4 and drawn 1, so their form is great, and they're away again. This is going to be a tough game for Cambridge. I've gone for Wycombe 3, Cambridge 0.
Okay, so again we've guessed a lot of similar-ish scores, maybe one goal swings either side. But for the first week ever, Dad, we haven't got a matching scoreline. Because normally we have 1 or 2 maybe that match. Every single one is independent this week.
It makes a difference. We always get them wrong anyway.
This is incredibly difficult to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it just shows me, we're not betting people. I used to put on an accumulator on the odd weekend, but it just shows you how all your bets end up losing, because to get any more than 4 games, it's really difficult to predict, isn't it? And even we've had some massive curveballs. Even this week, and I don't think anyone saw those 2 4-0 wins. I don't think people saw Stockport drawing at Crawley. There's quite a few sharp results.
Even Burton drawing at Rotherham was a surprise.
Exactly, and Rotherham went 2-1 up, and Burton managed to get an equaliser pretty late in the game. So yeah, you don't see these things coming at all. It's really hard to do. But a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. But let's see what happens in this game week. But there's some good games in there actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, should be a good one. So hopefully I can continue my
dominance,
slight lead, I guess.
Your dominance. It's a long season.
It is a long season, absolutely. But as always, Birmingham City supporters and other fans of other teams as well, if you've stumbled across this video for the first time, or maybe you've subscribed looking at the score predictions, we'd love to hear from you. What do you think of some of these score predictions? Maybe you've seen your team pop up and you'd like to maybe correct us or challenge us on what you think that scoreline might be. If you've liked this video specifically, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And if you do have, just jumping back a point, please drop us a comment in the section below. Me and Dad get around to every comment as soon as we possibly can. And we're on social media channels now. We have an X page, we have an Instagram page, and we're also on Spotify now if you want to listen to us over on that platform, as well. And if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, please don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button so you don't miss any future content all about Birmingham City. And myself and Dad will see you on the next video.